of New York City, New York. A city that never sleeps, New York is witnessing a large drop in its residents. It was once famed for its diverse work opportunities and vibrant cultural acceptance. But now, New York City is crumbling with unemployment rates going as high as 6% in the city. And that gives birth to another challenge: homelessness and crime. In fact, New York City has a higher rate of crime, homelessness, and cost of living than the national average by a large margin of over 20%. Many residents face the issue of being robbed throughout the city, making it an unsafe city to live in. The city accommodates over 8 million residents within an area of 300 square miles, making it impossible to find a peaceful environment. New York also faces hours-long lines of congested traffic, noise, and all kinds of pollution. If that's not all, then New York City's high cost of living seals the deal. The cost of living in New York City is among the highest in the United States, and the price of real estate in the city is notoriously expensive. In fact, you are looking to pay $8,000 a month for a 600 square feet apartment. Chicago, Illinois. The Windy City is the second largest city in the U.S. after New York City, and similarly, it shares the same fate as Apple City when it comes to the residents abandoning Chicago. One of the major factors contributing to the decline in Chicago is the city's high crime rates. Chicago has struggled with gun violence and homicide rates, which are among the highest in the United States, particularly in certain neighborhoods. You can trace it back to the city's financial instability. Like many cities in the United States, Chicago has struggled with budget deficits, unfunded pension liabilities, and other financial challenges. Like many cities in the Midwest, Chicago faced challenges related to the decline of manufacturing and other industries. Even though the city was once praised for its work opportunities, it now faces an unemployment rate of 4.3%. This has led to job losses and a lack of economic opportunities, particularly for low-income residents. Seattle, Washington. Nestled on the west coast of Washington, Seattle has been one of the top destinations for residents for the last decade. With a population of over 760,000 residents on 142 square miles, Seattle can be crowded on any given day. With a high population, residents are fed up with the traffic problems, long commute hours, and pollution that comes with it. The city has a lively nightlife scene, but it can drain your pockets easily with Seattle's high cost of living. It's much harder to afford housing, healthcare, and other basics of living in the big city. 1 in 150 residents of Seattle is a victim of violent crimes on the streets, including homicide, robbery, and sexual violence. With these frightening statistics coupled with the highest homelessness rate in the United States, it's not hard to see why Seattle isn't a favorite amongst locals anymore. Los Angeles, California. The largest city in California, Los Angeles, has been experiencing a wave of residents leaving at an alarming rate. The city's population is currently at 4 million residents, all living on a total land area of only 469 square miles. One of the primary reasons for the exodus of residents from Los Angeles is the high cost of living. The cost of living in Los Angeles is 7% more expensive than in other California cities and 51% more expensive than the state average. The city's air is also notorious for its pollution, making it harder for sensitive people. The city's rate of crime is almost double the state average and the national average, making it a significant concern for individuals and families living in the city. San Francisco, California. San Francisco is undeniably a stunning and iconic city with its Golden Gate Bridge and cable cars. But in recent times, more residents are leaving the city than before. Housing costs alone can be up to 238% more expensive than the national average, which is enough to leave a significant number of residents on the streets. Unfortunately, sleeping on the streets isn't a viable option either, as the crime rate in San Francisco has skyrocketed in recent years. The San Francisco Chronicle reports that 45% of the city's residents have been victims of violent crimes. Aside from the high cost of living and crime rate, other factors make San Francisco an unpleasant city to live in. The city's infamous traffic, limited parking spaces, and the difficulty of finding a job due to the high cost of living are additional reasons why residents are choosing to leave. Memphis, Tennessee. With a population of over 650,000 residents, Memphis is the largest city in the state of Tennessee. It has a rich history and cultural heritage that attracts many residents and visitors alike. But despite these attractions, it's hard for the city to retain its residents lately. Memphis has one of the highest crime rates in the United States, followed by poverty. Memphis has a crime rate twice that of the national average, while over 25% of the total population lives below the poverty line. It can be linked to the economic inequality of the city, with a lower median household income than the rest of the USA. This can make it difficult for some residents to afford basic necessities such as housing, healthcare, and education. Due to a lack of high-paying jobs, the city's residents often opt out of post-secondary education, making Memphis a city with low educational attainment. Boston, Massachusetts. A few years ago, Boston was a highly desirable place to live for many people with its strong job market, world-renowned educational institutions, vibrant culture, and rich history. Today, it's not hard to understand why the city isn't as shiny for residents as it was before. For starters, costs can be particularly high, with the median home value in the city exceeding $600,000. This can make it difficult for some individuals to afford to live in Boston, whether it's purchasing a house or renting an apartment. While Boston does have a public transportation system, it can be expensive and overcrowded, particularly during rush hour. Residents often complain about long commute hours, traffic noise, and pollution, which ultimately lower the quality of life. Add a higher crime rate to the mix and you have all the reasons why Boston is quickly losing residents every year. Detroit, Michigan. Detroit has been facing a decline for a while now, and its residents have been leaving the city in large numbers. The city's crime rate is another major concern for residents, with a 1 in 44 chance of being a victim of violent crimes. This is at least 4 times higher than in other cities in the state, which makes it an extremely dangerous place to live. As a result, residents are often seen looking over their shoulders on the streets, which is not a comfortable way to live. Despite its iconic status as the Motor City and a robust music scene, Detroit is struggling to recover from the economic and social challenges it has faced. Washington, D.C. It might be surprising to hear this name on the list, but USA's own capital city is in dangerous waters when it comes to providing an excellent quality of life. In fact, the city has a chock full of problems that make it hard for residents to live a peaceful life, 14% of the population living below the poverty line. This further gives birth to violent crimes in the area frequently. Traffic in Washington, D.C. can be notoriously bad, particularly during rush hour and when there are major events or protests taking place in the city. The city has some of the worst traffic in the country and commuting times can be lengthy. Parking can also be challenging and expensive, which can be frustrating for drivers. Portland, Oregon. Portland, Oregon is a city with many attractive features such as its beautiful parks, vibrant art scene, and environmentally conscious culture. So why are people abandoning such a beautiful city? While it is not considered one of the most dangerous cities in the United States, its crime rate is still higher than the national average, with property crime being particularly prevalent. The city has also been plagued by protests and civil unrest in recent years, which can make some people feel unsafe. The city's job market is competitive and wages are often not commensurate with the high cost of living. In addition, Portland's transportation infrastructure is often congested, with traffic being a significant issue during peak commuting hours. Housing costs are particularly high, with rents and home prices often outpacing salaries. This makes it difficult for many people, especially those with lower incomes, to afford to live in the city. The cost of groceries and other necessities is also higher than in many other cities. That's why Portland citizens are in search of affordable and peaceful environments in other Oregon towns.